Hello everybody, Comrade Kelly here. Welcome to a World Conqueror 4 mod review. For today, we will be reviewing the 2019 mod by the Turkish modder, and this is version 1.5.0, and quite a few things has been added since I last reviewed, which is about maybe I think almost a month ago already. So without wasting your time, let's just get into the new things that has been added. So as usual, if you wanna get unlimited metals and resources, all you have to do is beat Blitzkrieg, and you should be able to unlock all the resources and all the levels too. So you can see the Pacific, the Cold War, and the Modern War. So in the Modern War, two new custom campaigns have been added. First one being Cyprus Peace Operation. He has modded a new custom map in it, and you can see actual units. So we have to try to capture Cyprus, but the Greeks are also here, so they might be a bit of an annoyance to us. So next mission, being a more interesting one perhaps, is the 6-Day War. So Israel is now being invaded by its neighbors, and our objective is to destroy all these forces, capture a few cities and the Suez Canal. So there we go, we also get Palestine in this mix. And we move out of the scenario, check out new generals that has been added here. So a few new generals have been added too, I forgot which one, but there are some unfamiliar faces. So the first one being Hirohito, he's finally a general here now. We got Sosa and some guy's name I dare not to pronounce. Here we also got a few new generals too, Riyad, Dayan, Assad, Shakir, and so on and so forth. So those are the new generals that has been added in this mod. Let's just go to the conquest where most of the new things has been added. So in 1936, the Spanish Civil War is kicking around. We got the European colonies. We get the Falkland Islands under the British. We also got New Zealand under the British too. So that's for the first year. In 1939, a big thing has changed here. The Soviet Union is now in the side of the Axis, so this is trying to recreate the Molotov-Ribbentrop Pact. So you can see Poland is gonna get invaded by two sides, which kind of sucks for them, but here we go. Spain is neutral, but the Axis has a new really powerful allies to the east, and that's the Soviet Union. So this is gonna be a tough year for the allies. It's because even if you check China out, Xinjiang and Tibet is also working with the Axis. So I thought that was pretty interesting. And China's kind of screwed at this point because they have to defend so much like sides. You get before Xinjiang and Tibet are part of their country. Now they have to like send some forces. And the Japanese will probably overwhelm them here. But on the other hand, Mongolia is now not the ally of the Soviet Union, even Tanatuva. So that was pretty interesting. Down here looks about alright. Let's move on to the next scenario. 1943, I don't think anything has been added. 1950, you got the same as usual. 1960, around almost the same, maybe a few things added, but probably forgotten what are the new things added, but yeah. And New Zealand's back now, so instead of being a British colony like in 1943 or 50, they get to be a nation now. And some new like British colony has been scattered around the map in some places. Let's go check them out. We got some in South America. We got the Brazil back here. We got Argentina, and so on and so forth. So let's move on to the next conquest. In this one, I'm not really too familiar what year is this based on. We still got East and West Germany over here. Some parts of this map hasn't been completed, so we'll just have to wait in the next update. In 2019, so quite a few things has been added in 2019. First of all, the AI has been improving this. So China and like some other big nation, their AIs have been improved, so they wouldn't do like as much like stupid spamming things as they did before. And the missile, more countries will be using the missiles more often, and missiles will hurt a lot more now because the damage has been buffed a bit. So let's just go check out around the world. I think quite a few new like tanks has been added. So we got the Leopard, I think the Leopard 2A6. We also get the C1 Ariete as for the Italians, and I think the Greeks, they also get the Leopard. And you can see here the Turks, they get quite a few unique units that I've covered in the past before. Here we also got South Africa, and you can try to take out this like neutral African nation, and then it's gonna help you out with your economy. China, Xi Jinping has been replaced into this guy, Feng Hui. Oh no, not Xi Jinping, it was Mao Zedong before, sorry. And the Philippines, they get the general here too. We got Ano. So yeah, some nation, they get a new tank, and let me figure out what are the nation that gets one. I think Brazil gets one if I remember. If we go to Brazil in 2019, so yeah, they get the Leopard 1A5, so pretty cool. And if we go to the British, I think they get a brand new fighter jet. So let's go check them out. We got, where is it? Oh, I don't think it's in this, it's probably in the Cold War year. Oh wait, this is the World War II scenario, I believe, yep. So if we go to Italy in this one, I mean not Italy, the British, we get to see their new fighter. So the Eurofighter Typhoon, and it does a decent amount of damage. Let's just find a random target to hit. Let's say, let me find one. Ireland, for example. So we can see Dublin from here. We try to launch a jet and see how much damage it does. Also, sadly the rocket artillery was able to defend it, but I'm sure it does quite a few damage compared to the normal jet fighter. So let's move on to the next one. I think, let me think. The Italians, I already covered that. Indonesia, they also get a new tank, or at least one of the tanks. So another big thing that has changed this mod, if some of you may have noticed, is the faction. So the faction in the previous one has been now removed, so you can see the Indonesians, they get the Leopard 2A6, but back to the faction. So there are only now 2 factions in this mod. Let me show you. There are only 2 factions. The first one being NATO as usual, and the other being the KGAO. So the KGAO consists of like Russia, China, maybe the Kazakhstan, Mongolia, North Korea, and all these nations. I think Pakistan's in it, Bangladesh, Vietnam, Thailand, Burma. Cambodia's in NATO, Laos is in NATO too, most of Africa's in the new faction. South America's probably mostly NATO, I assume. Let's just enter China right now and see who's part of NATO and who's not. So India's part of NATO, surprise surprise. They got Nepal, Cambodia, Australia, so that shouldn't shock anyone. We got the Philippines, we got Papua New Guinea, East Timor, and Brazil and Paraguay, Argentina and Colombia are in the, what you call that, the Russian faction. And we also got a few ones in NATO too. Actually no, the Brazilians and the Argentinians are in the NATO, and the others like Chile, Peru, and so on and so forth are in the new Russian faction. We got Mexico in our faction too. Most of Africa, like I said, except for a few. And most of Europe's part of NATO except for the Balkans. The Turks are part of the Russian faction. And I think that's about it for this year. So yeah, AI improvement, some new countries added, new unique unit added, and missiles hurt a lot more now. So that's pretty good already. In the 2200 faction, I mean the year, you get a lot of new nation added to it. First one being Cuba. We also got Brazil down here. We get South Africa. We get Iraq and Republic of Turkey. We got Azerbaijan as the new nation, and Australia is here too. And yeah, so let's just go to Brazil right now. They have no generals, but no one's around here, so that's pretty safe for them. They just have to rush a city, hopefully don't get too hurt. So I think that's it for this mod review. If I miss anything, just point it out in the comments section below. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!